The legend of the cursed city. In 1872, thousands of people came to this city in search of gold. Most found only graves. The summer sun scorched the high plains of the Arizona Territory, and the wind howled through the hills like a warning too late to be heeded. In the valley of Dry Creek, gold was discovered just flakes at first, then nuggets the size of bullets. Word spread faster than a horse on fire. Within 3 months, tents gave way to timbered buildings, saloons outnumbered churches 3 to 1, and the town of Prospect Hill was born almost overnight. Men came with nothing but dreams and shovels. Women came seeking freedom, reinvention, or sometimes revenge, and every single one of them thought the gold would change their lives. They weren't wrong. It did. Just not in the way they expected. By 1874, Prospect Hill had grown into a booming settlement of over 4,000 souls. The mine was spitting out ounces by the hour, and the town pulsed with reckless energy. Among its new legends was Caleb Iron Eyes McGraw, a former Union scout turned gunslinger known for shooting 3 outlaws in a single draw. He now served as the unofficial law judge, jury, and, if need be, executioner. Opposing him in whispers and backroom dealings was Madame Laurette Duval, a French Creole widow who ran the Blue Lantern, a saloon brothel hybrid that doubled as the town's heartbeat and powder keg. Tension simmered as the wealth surged. Justice was for sale, loyalty a fleeting currency. And when the Fort Clay train was ambushed and its $30,000 payroll stolen on its way to Prospect Hill, the line between lawman and outlaw blurred beyond recognition. Suspicion fell like ash. Some whispered Caleb orchestrated the heist, others pointed fingers at Laurette. A posse was formed, but it never returned. Bodies surfaced days later near Devil's Ridge, mutilated, burned, and bearing the mark of the Red Rock Riders, a ruthless gang thought extinct. Fear infected the town like fever. Shops began to close at sundown. Children were kept indoors. And when a local preacher was gunned down mid-sermon, Prospect Hill realized that gold had brought something far worse than greed. It had brought lawlessness carved into the soul of the land. That night, the bell atop the town hall tolled 13 times. No one ever confessed to ringing it. By early 1875, the mine had started to collapse, literally. 3 shafts caved in, burying dozens. Superstition overtook reason. Some said it was cursed, others blamed sabotage. Laurette vanished without a trace, and Caleb was last seen riding into the painted canyons, chased by ghosts or justice. No one could say for sure. One by one, wagons rolled out. The gold was still there, but the town had lost its nerve. By the fall of that year, Prospect Hill stood hollow, like a carcass vultures refused to touch. The story of Prospect Hill became a whisper carried by desert wind, a warning disguised as legend. Greed had built it, yes, but it was pride, paranoia, and unchecked ambition that buried it. The gold hadn't disappeared. It remained buried beneath rubble and ruin. But no one ever came back to claim it. They say the dead outnumber the gold pieces now. And maybe, just maybe, that's the way it should be. For in the West, some riches cost more than silver, or sin, they cost your soul. The widow's law spring of 1875 brought no flowers to Prospect Hill, only more graves. The winds carried dust, but also rumors that someone had returned to the dying town not for gold, but for vengeance. Her name was Eleanor Finch, known to some as the Widow of the Iron Range. She had buried her husband, Deputy Marshal Samuel Finch, beneath a twisted oak tree after he was found gutted outside the Blue Lantern. No witnesses, no arrests. Caleb McGraw was already gone. Lorette had vanished. The townsfolk had given up. But Eleanor hadn't. Armed with a 6-shooter, a Spencer rifle, and a Bible with bloodstains on its leather, she rode into Prospect Hill with one promise. "I'm not leaving until justice is paid one bullet at a time." Eleanor wasn't just a grieving widow. She was a frontier teacher turned bounty hunter, trained in tracking, interrogation, and surviving where most men bled out. Her arrival caused a stir. Prospect Hill, nearly abandoned now, held only a few saloons, a blacksmith, and those too stubborn or too guilty to leave. Eleanor didn't ask questions. She made demands. Within days, she had compiled a list of 10 names all connected to her husband's last arrest, a botched case involving counterfeit gold bars and ties to the Red Rock Riders. One by one, those names started to disappear. Some fled. Some were found in alleys with lips sewn shut. And some begged for mercy they'd never given others. Then came Sheriff Wardle, a man placed by territorial authorities to bring order to the ghost town, though everyone knew he was bought and paid for by the mining syndicates. He summoned Eleanor to his office, flanked by men with rifles. "What you're doing," he said, "ain't justice. It's vengeance." She stared him down, cold as a tombstone. "And what you did," she replied, "ain't law, it's cowardice." That night, the sheriff's office exploded. The bodies were burned beyond recognition. Only Eleanor walked away, limping, covered in soot and blood, but alive. With the sheriff gone, and the remaining outlaws either dead or vanished, Eleanor took control. She didn't claim the mine. She didn't reopen the brothel or the bank. Instead, she stood atop the town hall steps and read from her husband's old badge log, listing crimes and names like it was scripture. The remaining townspeople, mostly women, orphans, and broken men, began to listen. They called her the widow's law. No judge, no court. Just one woman's moral compass and the memory of the man she lost. But she knew she wouldn't last. In places like Prospect Hill, justice was a candle in the wind. Within weeks, riders came from Yuma, sent by the rail companies and mining lords. Eleanor didn't run. She waited. On the day they arrived, 6 riders in black. The town square was empty except for her. Gunfire echoed like thunder across the canyon walls. When the smoke cleared, she lay slumped against the post office. 2 bullets in her side, but the riders were dead. Everyone. Before she succumbed to her wounds, Eleanor whispered a prayer. "May no one else die for gold." She was buried beside her husband under the same twisted oak, and on her grave marker was carved only one word: justice. The gold train never came. June 1875. The Arizona sun hung low over the canyon like an omen. Prospect Hill was on its last breath, its mine nearly dry, and its streets near silent. But news sparked like dry brush in summer. A gold shipment, estimated at over $70,000, was being transported by rail from Tucson to Prospect Hill. A desperate investment by the Tucson Mining Syndicate to revive operations. The townsfolk, now reduced to less than 100, waited anxiously. If the gold came, life might return. Businesses might reopen, maybe even the law. But the train never arrived. It left Tucson with 6 armed guards, 2 conductors, and the company's senior surveyor. It vanished somewhere between Coyote Pass and Dead Man Gulch, a stretch off-track infamous for old ambushes, Apache raids, and Red Rock Rider legends. When search parties rode out, they found only twisted rails and charred wood. No bodies, no gold, no survivors, not even tracks. It was as if the earth had swallowed it whole. Panic gripped Prospect Hill like frostbite. Some said it was sabotage by rival syndicates. Others whispered about a traitor inside the mining company, feeding information to outlaws. A few believed the widow's death had cursed the town, that the land itself refused to let greed rule again. But one man knew more than he let on. Harlan Beckett, an ex-Pinkerton agent turned drunkard who'd been fired for excessive force during an investigation in Kansas City. Harlan had stayed in Prospect Hill long after there was reason to. When asked why, he simply muttered, "Because unfinished stories need witnesses." Harlan claimed he'd intercepted a telegraph 2 days before the train left Tucson, a coded message about black wagons and a false junction near the Split Tooth Ridge. He tried warning the syndicate, but they dismissed him. Now he roamed the town, trying to piece it together. He interrogated the telegraph operator, who later disappeared. He tracked horses near the ridge and found boot prints too large for normal men. And then he uncovered a map with strange markings that matched no official railway, a ghost line perhaps, built by the outlaws themselves. A false track to lure the train off course. Obsessed, Harlan took one last ride, following the clues alone. He left a letter behind. "If I don't return, it's because I've found what no one wanted me to find." Days passed, then weeks. He was never seen again. Not all treasure is lost to time. Some is hidden by purpose, buried by guilt, fear, or justice. And sometimes the richest towns are the ones that never tasted gold, because they were spared the madness it brings.